Hello, everyone. Welcome back to EngGlowUp, the channel where we turn everyday moments into English learning.
That's right. And today, we're diving into something we all love to think about, the future.
Oh, yes, the future, our plans, dreams, and what we hope will happen next. Talking about the future in English is something we do all the time.
Exactly. Whether you're talking about tomorrow, next year, or even your goals, it's all about the future.
So today, we'll chat about how to talk about future plans, make predictions, and share hopes in a simple, natural way.
And we'll show you how native speakers do it every day, without sounding like a grammar book.
So, Michael, how do you usually talk about your future plans?
I usually use going to. For example, I'm going to visit my parents this weekend.
Ah, yes, going to is so common. It's perfect for things that are already decided or planned.
Exactly. Like, I'm going to start exercising next week.
You've been saying that for months.
Guilty. But hey, it's still part of my future plans.
True. So, I'm going to is used when we have a clear plan or intention. For example, I'm going to learn how to cook Thai food.
That sounds delicious.
Or, I'm going to watch a movie tonight. These are small, everyday plans, things we've already decided.
Yes, it's different from will. We often use will for decisions we make at the moment of speaking.
Oh, like when you suddenly decide something?
Exactly. If someone says, the phone is ringing, you can say, I'll get it.
Right. You didn't plan it. You decided just now. That's will.
Here's another one. I think it will rain later.
Ooh, that's a prediction.
Yes, we use will for predictions and spontaneous decisions.
So let's make it easy for everyone. Going to equals plans or intentions. Will equals spontaneous decisions or predictions.
That's a great summary. So, Flora, what's something you're going to do this month?
I'm going to start painting again. It's been a while.
Nice. I'm going to take a short trip next weekend.
Oh, where to?
I'm not sure yet. Maybe the countryside. I just want some fresh air.
That sounds lovely. See, future talk can be part of simple, everyday conversations. Now, let's talk about something deeper. Hopes and dreams.
Ooh, I like this part.
When we talk about what we hope or wish for the future, we use expressions like, I hope to, or I'd like to.
For example, I hope to travel more next year.
Nice. And I'd like to open my own art studio someday.
Oh, that's a beautiful dream, Flora.
Thank you. What about you?
I'd like to learn another language, maybe Spanish,
Really? Why Spanish?
because I love the culture, and it would be fun to speak with locals when I travel.
See, we just used hope to and would like to. They're both polite and natural ways to talk about future dreams.
Yes? You could also say, I want to, but I'd like to sounds softer, more polite.
For example, I want to buy a new car versus I'd like to buy a new car. Both are correct, but the second one sounds smoother.
Exactly. And if you want to sound even more natural, you can mix them with time phrases like one day, in the future, or next year.
For instance, one day I'd like to live near the beach.
Or, in the future, I hope to start my own business.
That's perfect. It helps express your long-term goals clearly.
Let's move to predictions. Things we think might happen.
Right. We often use words like will, might, or could.
For example, it might rain tomorrow. That means you're not sure, but it's possible.
And it will rain tomorrow means you're more certain.
Exactly. You can also say, it could rain tomorrow. That's also possible, but polite and softer.
Yes. So will equals certain or confident prediction. Might, could equals possible but not sure.
Let's try a few more examples. People will travel more in the future. Cars might fly someday. Robots could help us with daily chores.
I can't wait for that one. No more washing dishes.
That's the dream.
So, we've talked about how to share plans, dreams, and predictions. But you know what, Michael? Sometimes we also talk about arrangements, things that are already scheduled.
Oh yes, like when you have an appointment or you're meeting someone. For those, we often use the present continuous even though we're talking about the future.
Exactly. For example, I'm meeting my friend for lunch tomorrow.
Right. Or we're traveling to London next week. It sounds more natural than we will travel.
Yes, the present continuous makes your sentence sound more personal, like it's already planned and confirmed.
Here's another one. I'm visiting the dentist on Monday. Not my favorite plan, but still a plan.
No one likes that plan, but it's a good example. So just remember, am, is, are plus ing form works perfectly for future arrangements.
And it's super common in daily English. People rarely say, I will meet my friend. They usually say, I'm meeting my friend.
Exactly. So, Michael, what are you doing this weekend?
Let's see. I'm having dinner with my cousin on Saturday, and on Sunday, I'm staying home to relax.
Nice. I'm visiting my parents on Sunday. I haven't seen them in a while.
That sounds wonderful. See? We just talked about our weekend plans naturally, without even thinking about grammar.
That's the point. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
Now, what about when we want to make a promise or offer about the future?
Good question. We usually use will for that.
Yes. For example, I'll help you with your homework. That's a promise or offer.
Or, I'll call you tomorrow. It's something we decide right now and promise to do later.
Right. It's polite and direct. Let's do a few more examples for practice.
Okay, don't worry, I'll be on time. I'll send you the details later. I'll take care of it.
Perfect. You can also use will when you want to reassure someone, like, I'll be fine, or it'll be okay.
Oh, that's a good one. People say that all the time to comfort someone. It'll be okay.
Yes, and the contraction it'll sounds more natural than it will.
Absolutely. It's those little contractions that make English sound smoother. Another interesting thing, Michael, sometimes we use be about to when something is going to happen very soon.
Oh, yes, like, I am about to leave the house.
Exactly. It means very soon. For example, the movie is about to start.
Or, I'm about to have lunch. It's not the future in days or weeks, it's minutes away.
That's right. It's short-term future. Almost happening now.
So, quick recap of what we've covered so far. We can talk about the future using will, going to, present continuous, and be about to, depending on what we mean.
Yes, you're getting good at this, Michael.
Practice makes progress.
Now, let's make it fun. How about we talk about future habits or things people usually do in the future?
Ah, like every morning I'll have coffee before work.
Exactly. We use will here to describe what someone usually does in the future, not a single event.
Right. Like, I'll often go for a walk after dinner when I have more free time.
That's a great sentence. It shows future habit, something that will probably continue happening.
Yeah, and it's really useful for when you're talking about your lifestyle goals.
Definitely. Speaking of which, what kind of future habits do you want to build?
Hmm. I'll try to wake up earlier and read every morning.
Wow, that's a good one. I'll probably cook more at home. I'm trying to eat healthier.
That's always a good plan.
I know, right? And see how natural it is to use I'll? It's just part of our normal daily talk.
Let's teach a few natural future-related idioms. Those are always fun.
Ooh, yes. I love idioms.
Okay, first one is, the best is yet to come. It means that even if things are good now, something even better will happen in the future.
That's such a positive one. It's great for motivation.
Yeah, you can say, don't worry, the best is yet to come.
Another one is in the long run. It means after some time or in the future, eventually. For example, it's hard work now, but it'll be worth it in the long run.
Perfect. And one more. Time will tell. It means we have to wait to see what happens in the future.
Oh, that's such a common one. Like, will the new project be successful? Well, time will tell.
Exactly. So, idioms make your speech sound more natural and confident when talking about the future.
And they make the conversation more colorful.
You know what, Flora? Let's practice everything we've learned with a quick role play.
Great idea. Let's imagine we're two friends talking about our plans for the next few weeks.
Okay, I'll start. Hey, Flora, what are you doing next weekend?
I'm going to visit my friend in another city. We're planning to go hiking. What about you?
I might go to a concert. It depends on my work schedule.
Oh, sounds fun. I hope you can go.
Yeah, me too. If I can't, I'll just relax at home.
That's always nice. I'll probably do that after my trip too. Just rest.
By the way, are you planning to travel abroad this year?
I'd love to. I'm hoping to visit Japan someday. What about you?
Maybe Spain or Italy. I'd like to try all the food there.
You and food. Always a great combo.
What can I say? The future looks tasty.
That's a good one. So, Michael, we've talked about plans and promises, but what about when we're not sure about the future?
Ah, yes. When we want to talk about possibilities, not certainties, that's when we use words like might, could, or may.
Exactly. For example, I might visit my cousin next month. It's possible, but I'm not 100% sure.
Or we could go to the beach if the weather is nice. Again, not a fixed plan, just an idea.
That's right. These words help you sound more natural because in real life, we're not always sure about everything in the future.
True. Life is full of maybes.
That's so true. Let's give a few more examples for practice. I might start a new hobby this year. She may move to another city for work. They could get a new car soon.
Perfect. And notice that we don't add will after those words. We say might go, not might will go.
Good point. Keep it simple. Might plus base verb, could plus base verb, may plus base verb. You know, Michael, one thing I love about talking about the future is how it connects to dreams and goals.
Yes, when people talk about the future, they're often talking about what they hope for.
Right. For example, I hope I'll be more fluent in English next year.
That's a great one. Or, I hope I'll travel more.
You can also use want to, like, I want to start my own business in the future.
Exactly. It's so simple but powerful. It helps you express your ambitions.
Speaking of ambitions, what's one goal you have for the future, Michael?
I'd say I want to visit at least 5 new countries in the next few years.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah. And what about you?
I'd love to publish a book one day.
That's amazing. I'll definitely buy a copy when you do.
Thanks, Michael. Let's say time will tell.
Good one. That idiom fits perfectly.
Exactly. When you talk about the future, you're really sharing a piece of your personality, what you expect, what you want, what you dream about.
And that's what makes conversations deeper and more engaging.
Yes. So next time you're chatting with a friend, try saying something about your future plans, even small ones.
Like, I'm going to start exercising next week, or I'll learn a new recipe this weekend.
Perfect examples. The more you talk about your future, the easier it becomes to use those phrases naturally.
Okay, before we wrap up, let's share a few useful future-related expressions our listeners can practice.
Great idea. Let's do a quick round. I'll say one, then you say one. Looking forward to. For example, I'm looking forward to my vacation. It means you're excited about something in the future.
Can't wait to. Like, I can't wait to see my family. It means you're really excited.
Planning to. I'm planning to learn guitar next month.
Hoping to. I'm hoping to get a promotion soon.
Expect to. I expect to finish this project by Friday.
Nice. Those phrases make your speech sound more natural and fluent.
Exactly. They're simple, but they help you sound confident when discussing what's ahead. So, Michael, how would you summarize our talk today?
I'd say, when talking about the future, remember to choose the right structure. Will for promises and predictions, going to for plans, present continuous for scheduled events, and might, could, may for possibilities.
Perfect summary. And most importantly, use these phrases in real conversations. That's how confidence grows.
Totally agree. Don't just memorize, use them.
Exactly. Practice with friends, shadow along with us, or even talk to yourself about your plans. That's still great practice.
That's true. The more you speak, the less you hesitate.
All right, everyone. That brings us to the end of today's episode on talking about the future.
We hope you enjoyed it and learned some new expressions you can start using right away.
Remember, your future English self will thank you for every small step you take today.
Beautifully said.
If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to EngGlowUp, the channel where we turn everyday moments into English learning.
And share this episode with a friend who's learning English too. That's how we all grow together.
Until next time, keep practicing, keep glowing up your English, and keep believing in your future self.
See you in the next episode.